You wake before dawn in Waset, with cedar smoke already in the air. The courtyard is still blue with night, and the stars have not yet loosened their hold above the temple roof. You are court astrologer to Pharaoh in the great reign of Ramses, and before anyone speaks your name, your eyes are already measuring heaven. The sound that reaches you first is the temple bells, faint in bronze through the dark. Your chamber opens onto plastered walls painted with lotus and stars, and beyond them rise the pylons of Amun. Servants pad across stone courts below, carrying water jars and lamp trays toward shrines still closed. You cross the inner passage, wrapped in fresh linen, feeling its cool brush against your back. The corridors smell of old pigment, dust, and oil. Reliefs of gods stride beside you in torchlight. Thoth with ibis head, Seshat with her star sign. Their painted eyes seem awake before the priests are. At the stair to the roof, a priest waits without greeting. You hear the scribes read scratching somewhere below in the record room, dry and quick as an insect. Every chamber in this place keeps account of something: grain, incense, labor, offerings, eclipses, births. Your account is the night itself. On the roof terrace, the cold of pre-dawn wind catches your bare forearms. You set down the merkhet and the bay, your sighting tools polished smooth by years of use. Beside them stands the clepsydra, the water clock, its measured drip marking the hours while the eastern horizon still hides the sun. You kneel and line the merkhet cord with a known star, breathing slow so your hands stay steady. A junior assistant holds the palm rib bay upright. Together you mark the passage of the decans as they climb. Each star group rises in its season and hour. Each one carries order, if your eye does not fail. You descend to the writing chamber. Frankincense curls from a brazier near the doorway. On the low table wait rolled papyri, red and black pigments, a reed pen, and yesterday's tables of risings. You dictate the observed hours while your assistant writes. No word can be careless here. Bread and figs come on a small tray, hardly noticed. You wet your finger, smooth a papyrus edge, and compare the night's positions against the festival calendar. Today Pharaoh will ask whether the hour favors a river inspection and the reception of Nubian envoys. You must bind sky to action before the court assembles. The burden sharpens when the chief lector arrives. You smell copper from the clasp on his leather case as he opens it beside you. From within he lifts a liver from the morning sacrifice, already marked for ritual reading. Your craft belongs to stars and hours, yet signs are rarely left to one source. He says little. That is worse. The priest's silence settles over the room while you study both record and offering. A pale streak mars one lobe of the liver. Outside, sandals pass, water sloshes, pigeons stir under the eaves. Inside, you feel every heartbeat in your throat, as if it were audible. A messenger from the palace appears at the threshold, and with him comes the fear of the master's eye. He bears a folded linen seal strip naming the hour of summons. Earlier than expected, Pharaoh has risen before first light and wants the reading before he enters public audience. Delay is its own omen. You wash your hands in a basin and murmur to Thoth under your breath. The unanswered name is always near in these halls. If your reading offends what another priest wishes to hear, your counsel can vanish into silence. Another man can take your place at the writing board by nightfall. Then the rhythm of the morning breaks. A novice rushes in from the outer court, breathless, saying a halo circled the moon before dawn over the west bank. You stand at once. Such a sign cannot rest on a frightened boy's tongue alone. You gather the papyrus, the tables, and your instruments. You stride through the gate court, while a single sandal on stone snaps against the paving behind you. The novice leads you toward a side terrace overlooking the river. Servants stop to watch. Priests pretend not to. The sky is whitening now, but thin cloud still carries the memory of the ring he saw. At the terrace rail, you question him carefully, asking where the moon stood, how broad the light seemed, whether dogs barked, whether any star shone within the circle. He answers with shaking precision. This is no tavern tale. A ring around the moon before audience can mean enclosure, warning, delay. You return at once to the chamber and recalculate the hour against the water clock. The river's slow current glints beyond the walls through a slit window. If the sign and the star hour agree, you must advise restraint. If they clash, you must speak with a tongue sharp enough to cut doubt, yet soft enough to survive. By mid-morning, you are carried in a curtained litter from temple precinct to palace court, papyrus tube across your knees. The air outside smells of jasmine from garden pools warmed by first sun. Thebes is awake now. Bakers shouting, donkeys stamping, soldiers at gates. Inside the litter, you rehearse each sentence. The audience hall swallows sound beneath its painted ceiling. Near the throne, only the priest's chant from a side shrine reaches you. Low and continuous. Pharaoh sits beneath a fan of feathers, gold collar bright against linen. You bow until your neck aches, then rise just enough to read. Your mouth dries, but the words leave in good order. You name the decanal hour. You report the moon's ring. You advise that Pharaoh receive the envoys under protection of Amun, yet delay river business until the sun stands higher and the shadow of the eastern pylon shortens. Caution, not refusal. No one speaks for several breaths. Then Pharaoh nods once and turns to his chamberlain. The hall exhales. Your legs remember their weight. A tray of beer and dates is set near a side pillar for lesser officials. You take neither yet. The judgment has passed, but its echo stays in your ribs. After audience, you are sent to the archive room to enter the omen among older records. Tallow lamps burn there despite the noon light, and their greasy smell clings to the shelves. You unroll a brittle papyrus from a previous regnal year and match wording carefully. Memory matters. Formula matters more. In the late afternoon, with formal duties eased, you visit the temple roof again. A crow on the threshing floor below calls across the court, while grain workers sweep chaff into baskets. You check the sight lines, inspect the plumb cord, and reset the water clock. The sky that frightened the novice now looks innocent. At sunset, you wash in a shallow basin, scrubbing dust from your fingers and lamp soot from your nails. Supper waits in your chamber. Bread, onions, lentils, a little salted fish. Dung fires from the workers' quarter send a coarse smoke over the compound, mixing with the sweeter incense drifting from evening offering. Night gathers over Waset. You climb once more to the roof, with a small lamp hooded in your palm. Above you, nut arches dark and clear from horizon to horizon. You leave a crumb of bread beside the parapet, whisper thanks to Thoth and Seshat, and watch the first star appear where your table said it would. When you lie down, the mat creaks softly under your shoulders, and the chamber cools around you. One papyrus roll rests beneath your hand like a living thing. Tomorrow, another sky will ask something from you.
Which detail would have broken you first?
Be honest.